What's up, guys? We're starting off today a little bit late. Kind of been bumming around this morning. Not gonna lie, I'm a little, I'm just sad about the SR. But we have good news at least. We're gonna pick up the BMW with some cool new stuff. Dang! Matt, do you see that new $150,000 body kit they installed?
No way.
It's sick, on my car.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that looks sick.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. There's not a new body kit, Matt. So if you can't tell by the sign, what actually did bring it here, they did some window tint for me. So he did 20% ceramic on the sides and 80% on the windshield, as advised by Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage. They did a killer job. I'm so happy. I've lived in Florida for like 5 years now, and none of my cars have ever had tint on them. I'm always just like burning in the sun. Oh, it's so weird. I feel like I'm in a cocoon. It's cool having it in the front too. Next time we come back here, I gotta show you guys inside the shop because some of the stuff I have in there is crazy. Look at that color. Is that a factory color? Looks crazy. It's like olive. Alberto's actually over here today working on his car, getting his car all ready. He actually found out that his frame's bent, so he's doing a frame swap real quick. I'll show you guys over here. It's pretty interesting. He cut up a frame out of another E36 and he's just re-welding it. Is this something that happens often with E36s, Alberto?
It is not. It's just something I don't totally made up just now.
Funny guy, funny guy. I'm trying to be positive and pretend that I'm happy because I'm still really annoyed and upset about the SR. Alberto actually got it running kinda before, but it was getting really, really hot. The whole thing about all the cylinders filling up with water is just really, really weird. It seems like maybe the head gasket isn't torqued right or something is just up. So I'm gonna pull the valve cover off and get the cams out so Alberto can check the torque on the head. But I have there's something weird going on here. Something fishy. That angle though.
Wait.
Uh-oh, what's in the box? Oh, is that those purple plates? Dang. Shout out to SLR for the candy. The color of the oil is definitely an indication that there was some water in there, but the question is it still getting water in there? Or is that just residual from that first start where the cylinders filled up? So weird. Check the torque and they're all good. So probably something with the head gasket. Hopefully not a cracked block or a cracked head. It's just so weird that they would all fill up with water. It's just really, really odd. So just gonna put it together and call it a day on this and start working on Nicole's car since this thing definitely isn't gonna make it to the drift event tomorrow. Since I'm not gonna be able to get my car running for tomorrow, I have kind of the night allotted to getting a car ready for the drift event. So instead of getting my car ready, I decided I was gonna help Alberto get his car ready, and I'm actually gonna be driving his car tomorrow.
You want to drive my car?
I do want to drive your car, but that was just a joke. I'm gonna tag team Nicole's car with her, and what a great time to do some last minute angle mods on Nicole's car. Kind of spur of the moment, but why not? Just to demonstrate real quick, this is what we have. This is just factory angle with a rack spacer, just like the little slip-on ones. Right now the limiting factor is actually the rack bottoming out. So essentially what we'll be doing is extending this lower control arm so the wheel will be a little bit farther out, can turn a little bit more because the knuckles will be shortened. So that'll change the leverage here. So when the tie rod moves, it'll actually pull the knuckle more. And I'll be adding a bigger spacer to the rack that will help with it bottoming out. If we had much more angle, we'd be getting really close to the frame. So that's why 25 mil extended on the lower control arm will help quite a bit. Shulman the plug just stopped by with some modded lower control arms. What you got here, Shulman? What'd you do here?
I picked these up from Andrew.
Okay, you weren't gonna like act like you welded them?
No, I did.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
So these are actually the original lower control arms that I had in my car. There's a local dude who goes by the name of Andrew Grafton, who's a pretty rad fabricator and does a lot of angle mods for all the local dudes and stuff. He actually boxed mine and extended them 50 mil, but I thought that would be a little bit much for Nicole's car with her stock fenders. So I had him cut them a little bit and bring them back, so it's about 25 mil extended now. He also made some modded knuckles for me, which is basically just, like I said, shortening them a little bit, so it kind of quickens the ratio and you get a little more angle out of it. I'm pretty sure these are stock length tie rods that were on Nicole's car, and they're pretty much almost bottomed out, so I think we can get away with them, especially instead of using the little slip-on spacer that we had on them. I have this sweet billet machine spacer that will space out the rack and prevent us from bottoming out. That's what this part's for. So we'll just thread this on, and then we should be good. Just gonna have to like realign the rack a little bit, but. Hey guys, I'm Adam LZ, and welcome to Let's See How Fast We Can Take Apart a Knuckle and Lower Control Arm. Go! All right, wheel. Didn't have any studs in it. She's been driving around like that for a while, so it's super easy to take off. Takes like 2 seconds. I highly recommend doing that. All right, unfortunately we have to take the spacers off so we can get the rotors off. Got the steering column unlocked, so we can just turn the rotor. 17 mils are our best friend in this procedure. We're just gonna insert it right like so. When I said 17 mil, I meant 19 mil. Sorry. Now, just for you guys today, we're gonna install a very, very cool mod that I like to call a zip tie. We're gonna use this to not hang the caliper from anything. We're just gonna let it dangle from the line, but we're gonna put a zip tie above it just to show that we could have zip tied it. That was just a joke. I actually zip tied it up just for you guys. Not going anywhere now. Look at that. Wow. It may look like I know what I'm doing. Don't worry, I don't. Hey guys, just so you know, there's a very sad Alberto sitting on the chair right now because you guys were talking crap about him when he did not even touch the assembly of that engine. So you know what? Don't be mean, okay? If it makes you feel better, Alberto, you can like kick my camera or something and pretend that you're kicking my audience. That's just what people do. They like to blame people. Do you notice how I haven't blamed anyone for like what happened to the engine? It's not worth it.
That's why they think it's me.
No,
the only person that has to point a finger towards Alberto is like, I didn't do anything.
I hate when people play the blame game. Like, stuff happens with cars. Like, they're just blaming people because if they were in that position, they would be like super, super upset, and they just want to blame someone to make themselves feel better. Like, I understand stuff happens. Like, I make 99% of the mistakes with my car. Whatever happens, regardless of whose fault it is, it doesn't matter. We're gonna figure it out and we're gonna fix it. Blaming people isn't gonna get you anywhere. All it's gonna do is make the other person mad. Stop blaming my audience, Alberto. Maybe it's your fault for being so cool. They're just jealous. Having a needle nose would make pulling this pin out a bit easier. If you guys remember when I told you need a 36 mil socket, like you just have to have it in your tool chest if you own an S13, guess what? You also need a 30 mil, because that's what the front is. Boom. All right, next thing we will do is take the tie rod off the assembler. Stupid pesky pins take more time than anything else disassembling. That literally took 5 times as long as everything else I've done. So before we bash this tie rod off, we're gonna thread the knot in so we don't mess up the threads. I've done that before, it's no fun. That was easy. Other side was kind of a pain. Almost there. Got a couple more 17s up top. And then I think, I don't remember if there's 17s or 19s on the bottom, but. Slip. Slip. Don't know that I can fit my impact up here though. Nope. So we are going to use a socket. Ooh, almost forgot the stuff for the tension rod and all that stuff underneath there. As always, gloves makes this process much nicer. Let's take a big screwdriver in here. Look at that. All done. All right guys, here's a fun part where we get to do exactly the same thing that we just did, except in reverse order. Like I said, these are extended. They bring the wheel out a little bit farther so you don't hit the frame and stuff. Go ahead and slap these bad boys in first. What I've done on the other side, I kind of cheated because I already did that other side first. I just put everything in loose first, and then I went over and tightened everything up at the end. It made it a little bit easier to work with. Don't know if that's the proper way to do it, but it helped. Next we'll do the tension rod and sway bar. Just kind of let those like press in place. Cool thing is when Grafton makes these lower control arms, he leaves a little window underneath even though they're boxed in, so you can still reach up and get the bolts in. And I feel like that's like a given, but you know, if I wanted to go box them in, I'd be like, oh crap, I forgot to leave room for the bolt. Started to strip on the last stroke. Good though, we're good.
Damn.
What?
That's crazy.
A lot of angle, right?
Dude.
It's gonna hit stuff though, like I'm gonna have to do a bunch of hammering.
Oh dude, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
dude, and it would be so much better if I did the 50 mils.
Absolutely, I'm doing that. That's awesome.
Can you stop swearing? You're gonna ruin my footage, Shulman.
Are you filming? I'm sorry.
Dirty Mouth Shulman.
Sorry, I know you're filming.
It's your new name, Dirty Mouth Shulman.
That's my 8th name you give me today.
Yeah, he keeps getting names today. Scumbag Shulman.
No, stop.
Blasting music through my neighborhood in my truck, Shulman.
Hey, Drake got me hype, alright? I'm sorry. I've caught you doing it before too, I don't want to hear it.
I don't blast music in my own neighborhood. It's disrespectful to the children. All right, Matt says this didn't even take me an hour and a half. Matt, is that true?
Yeah.
Literally, angle is done. Don't worry about this side. I know it looks like it doesn't have much angle. I'll explain why that is the case right now. You can see pretty much what we are getting out of this side in terms of angle. Our limiting factor right now is going to be that the wheel is actually hitting the bracket for the brake line, which we will end up bending out of the way. But the main issue right now, well, I guess I can show you this real quick too. On the front section, what we're gonna end up hitting is the sway bar, but you can't see that because the other side has some weird stuff going on. Basically, I was hoping I'd be able to get away with just using the stock tie rods with that one big rack spacer that I put in, but I think I'm gonna have to use a Maxima tie rod at least on one side, just because I don't wanna go any less than 10 threads on the tie rods, and I need a little bit of extra length to get the proper toe set up on the car. So I'm gonna try one Maxima tie rod on one end. Alberto, is that okay to use a different tie rod on one side of the car? Lengthwise? No?
You have it on the car.
What?
Just do the same on both sides.
Well, I only have one.
Oh.
But technically the other side is longer because it has that rack spacer. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you get the length right, but that's just not the right way to do it. But if you're not doing it like that, don't blame it on me.
No, do you know what I'm saying though? Like, doesn't that make logical sense? Because the other side has the rack spacer on it, so that essentially adds the same length as the Maxima tie rod versus the stock tie rod.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because the way that those rack spacers are intended to be used, you're only supposed to use it on one side, and then you're supposed to center the rack with it, so it's in the metal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this will just let me get more threads on both sides.
Well, go for it then.
Okay. Comment below if it's a really stupid idea. We can get more Maxima tie rods, it's just all the auto parts stores are closed right now, so I'm just gonna use what we got, and I think it should be fine. What do you think, Shulman?
I agree.
I don't trust Shulman. Alright, so here we have Maxima tie rod from auto parts store, and then we have normal tie rod. Look at that difference. A lot more threads, a lot more threads. It'd be rad if we had one for both sides, but we don't. So we're gonna make do with what we have. It'll be fine.
All right, now we gotta like make sure we this part right here will definitely rub with the tire, so we have to hammer this side to the side and make it flat. This is what you guys should be looking at right here. Like it's pretty even, you know. Make sure this whole flat right here. Now the tire can go through here and not hit that lip.
Sometimes when I need clarity, I find it in hot chocolate. I'll look aside though. So tons of room for angle. It actually doesn't rub on much, believe it or not. It doesn't even hit the frame. The issue is though, if we go too crazy, the rack starts to over center. And we know that I don't like rack offset spacers, so until we can move the rack forward, I basically made a bump stop with a hose clamp just to prevent it from over centering, because what happens is the tie rod goes in a bit too much and then it throws a weird angle with the rack and it kind of gets stuck there. So this will help that a lot. So we're gonna use toe plates to align it, but right now what I did is I straightened out the steering wheel and we're gonna get as close as we can kind of by eye. That way I know the steering wheel's straight and then we can just make adjustments to fix the toe in, toe out. So we're like, this is fun. Like way more fun than rear knuckles. How's that look, Alberto? Is that looking better? It's kind of hard to film and do it at the same time, but in case you've never seen toe plates, really, really rad way to do a quick alignment, especially at the track if you don't have an alignment rack handy, which most people don't. Essentially, all that you have to do is you have like one of these plates on each side, 2 pieces of measuring tape, and you just measure the front and the back, and you can tell if you have like an 1/8 inch toe out, a 1/4 inch, however much you want, 0 toe, and adjust from there. So super, super convenient to have around. We actually aligned it in the air by just kind of eye and just like measuring tire to tire. Perfect 0 toe, so
Right, that's good.
we're basically gods. Car drives sick, feels really good, angle feels like perfect. Obviously I don't know if it's gonna have over centering issues, but it felt pretty good, just like doing U-turns and stuff. It kind of wanted to self-steer on its own. Only really issue that I found was that the rear kind of dragged a little bit, but I adjusted the parking brake a little bit. I think I just had it set to drag a little bit too much, or it was like preloaded a little bit too much, where you spin that annoying like little spring thing by the drum. But for a last minute angle mod situation to make tomorrow a little bit more fun and let Nicole progress a little bit more, I'm stoked. Her car's got a handbrake now, it's got proper angle, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think it's gonna let her push her limits a little bit more, and it'll make me a lot more confident driving this thing with other people. Don't get me wrong, it drove great with stock angle, but when there's other people in the mix, there's less room for air, so it's nice to have that safety cushion of a little bit of added angle. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, a little all over the place, but that's just how life's been lately. What is up guys? We are starting off today's video in Nicole's car at the drift track, and we are about to test out the new angle mods and the handbrake. If I start off this video, this might just be a continuation of yesterday's video. I haven't decided yet, but I'm very excited to try it. Nicole's gonna be here in a little bit. I wanna see how it feels.
All right, you're good.
See how it feels. feels so smooth. That was like effortless. Didn't even need the handbrake. Wow. Such enjoyment. I can feel, I don't know if it binds up towards full lock. Man, her car is just so great. You're a great girl, Gabby. Yes, you are. You guys can tell when I had fun in a lap because my voice starts getting all funny and weird. Man, this car feels good. This angle feels better than my PVM stuff. That's hilarious. What the heck? So a lot of people here today. It's probably the longest line I've seen at OSW in a long time. It's all the way from the track back here, and we got some stuff behind us too. Did you see how much angle we threw on entry?
Oh my god!
I've never thrown the angle that hard on a car.
Dude!
I don't know why you didn't car didn't, like I felt like your car should have spun. We threw so much angle.
That was crazy!
That was fun.
I was walking by the wall. I saw Alan switch back in front of one of them two, and like you were right there. It was literally all perfect. Oh my god, that is literally like the best train that I've ever seen here.
Dang, I hope Nicole got on video.
She better have. 'Cause she should be mad if she didn't, because that's like.
Aw, that takes a lot for Tommy to compliment someone, so that made me extra happy.
Car just got hit and Adam wasn't filming.
I should have checked your tires. They literally just like cashed out mid-lap. Oh,
so upset.
I'm not used to getting this much seat time. Just hopefully it's just the fender, because we're gonna change those anyway. This is the absolute best case scenario. These hoods are, I guess the hood got a little chip, but these hoods are super expensive, hard to find. So are the bricks. So the fact that it just kind of crunched in the fender, that's very lucky. I learned my lesson, I should have checked the tires. Tires are fine. So what happened was, I went a little bit too wide, and on the outside edge, that's where all the dust from all the tires goes. No one drifts where the cones are. I would have hit the cones, but instead, it just kind of spun there. And I had 40 PSI, which is way too much.
Remember when I told you that you should check your tires and probably air them down? And you said, no, we're good. I like driving with more. And I said, you should probably always film, even if you're leading, because that's when you miss this stuff.
I Another good thing is that it's on the same side as the door. Since we're gonna have to respray the door anyway, it'll be easier to blend it into a new fender. So, I'm trying to look at it positively. Oh my God.
Were you filming?
It's not a good day. Yeah, I was filming. I'm really sorry, Nicole. Not as lucky this time?
Not as lucky. It's a little Mine's like,
Just having a bit of an off day. We're gonna go get subs right now. Nicole's been killing it though. I think I still have like post SR stress.
So yeah, I know Adam got all those major dings and dents and stuff, but apparently when I was on the skid pad, wait, do they know that I linked the oval?
Yeah, I have it on the camera.
Okay, but apparently when I was on the skid pad, which I linked 4 times, by the way, which I'm super stoked on, but the first time my lip came off and cracked in half.
Yikes. So it looks like we will be spray painting another lip for you, Nicole. Gotta order one though. I heard that someone makes a poly lip for that, which would be pretty sweet. I think. Actually, I don't know.
You know, I'm just gonna have to think tonight, which direction do I want Gabby to go?
Yeah, we're gonna revamp Gabby. We're gonna give her a facelift.
No Botox though.
Ew.
Some wide body. Get a little aggressive.
Clipped his bumper on transition. I don't know if you got it.
No, I would have killed you.
It's a really interesting driving experience driving this car. It's not as like rowdy or as exciting as my car, but it's very, very simple and it feels the same, and the power level is very, very smooth. A lot of torque where I can just really focus on driving. This is like my version of like an LS S13, to where like it's just very simple and you can do exactly what you want. As a competition car, this would be phenomenal. There's essentially no lag. And it's very on par with the other cars that we're driving with. Stock VQs, I think, make somewhere around high 200s. This car's right around there as well. So it's really, really good.
You're a perfect girl.
And she's even got radar detector in case any cops come out on the skid pad. Alright, Nicole, someone warned us this would happen. I think the PBM Knuckles claimed their first axle. It feels like one of your axles broke.
Why did that happen?
Because the Knuckles put the axles at a weird angle. That sucks.
So are we done driving today?
Most likely. I believe that's the case. Yeah, I'm really regretting doing those Knuckles.
Can you even drive the car home?
Yeah, we'll just kind of like be chill with it. We just gotta make sure that the axles aren't like gonna like I might unbolt them. I don't know. I've never broken an axle before.
So how are we gonna check? Or are we just gonna call Alberto over?
No, I can you can visibly see when there's a broken axle. So if you look under here, you can see that inside the axle right there, in that boot, the whole axle isn't spinning, so something's broken in there. Those Knuckles just kind of put some excessive angle on it, and that's what causes them to break.
Yep.
This guy, you're bad luck.
I'm not bad luck. Oh wait, I did say Nicole was doing really well, so.
I was
that
killing
probably
it.
makes
How many tires did we bring and how many did we use?
Alberto, can you say what you said before when you walked up? I love how you say it.
Samir, you're breaking the car.
Can you say it? Can you say it louder?
Why louder? Samir, you're breaking the car. You never seen that video?
No.
Babe, you're breaking my car.
No, he said.
Is that what he said?
He calls me Sammy. He's like, Sammy, why you do this?
How many spare tires did we bring?
We brought like 8 tires and we barely used 2. We didn't even use 2.
Samir, rally driver, and the guy's like, Samir.
You had to aggressively clutch kick.
It wasn't really that aggressive. It was just out of the handbrake.
And he like, yes.
You know, some of the stuff that happened kind of sucks, but unfortunately when you start doing these bigger trains with cars and stuff, what happens is something happens with a car in the front, whether it be me or another car, anyone, and the car behind them may see it, but the car behind them may not see it, and the car behind them probably definitely doesn't see it. So that's how you get these like little pile-ups and wrecks and stuff, but it's part of drifting. It kind of sucks, but at the same time, there's kind of a lot of stuff that Nicole's been wanting to do differently with the front end of this car, and this is kind of like a good thing that kind of pushes us to do it. I didn't really show you guys this side in the video. I realized that now after the fact. This is from the second crash. Definitely did. Oh wait, no, just kidding. This was from the first crash. This side was from the second crash. It did the corner light in, broke the tab, messed up the side of the brick a little bit, but the brick is still intact, so that's good. But the hood got a little bit folded over. So I'll probably do the best that I can to touch up some of the stuff a little bit in the meantime until we figure out what we're doing. But other than the little cosmetic stuff, which I obviously feel very, very bad about, the car performed phenomenally. The angle setup felt great, the hydro felt great, the engine didn't have any sort of issues, power was great. There are a couple of things that I recently learned that we're gonna be doing with this car that are very simple that should be able to squeeze actually a decent amount of power out of this. So stay tuned for that, stay tuned for whatever happens in the front end. I also feel really bad that that freaking GoPro mic, of course when Nicole's driving, wasn't cooperating, so that's why I dubbed over some of the audio from one of my clips. But that event had so many people, I really want to rent the track out again sometime soon so Nicole can actually focus on learning to use the handbrake because she hasn't really used it yet, and taking advantage of this new angle setup that she has. So thank you guys for watching. In tomorrow's video, I should have a definitive update on what is going on with the SR. I have some friends that are coming over to take a look at it with me. Also got some other cool updates and stuff, but you'll see that in tomorrow's video. I hope you enjoyed this double day video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.